Hi everyone, in this video we're going to work on page 371, page 372, solving equations with variables on both sides. So when we solve an equation with variable on both sides, you have to make sure that your variable needs to be moved into one side. Alright? So I'm going to explain with example 1 how we can do this step easily. Example 1. Alright, now my question is this. Solve 9a plus 2 equals 4a minus 18. So, as I just mentioned, you have to choose that what side you're going to move your all variables on. So look, I always recommend you to use the side which you have a bigger number in front of the letter, which is we call that as a coefficient, right? Because first, you don't want to deal with the negative numbers. It's okay that you can choose the smaller number, you end up having the same answer. But on the process of working, you don't really want to make any mistakes, especially for signs. I know that, you guys easily make a mistake to, lost putting in the sign. So if you don't want to happen that, I recommend you to work with the choose the number which you have a bigger number in front of it. So when you have a equal sign here, just pretend that this is a left, this is a right. You always compare with those numbers. Since 9 is bigger than 4, I'm going to choose my variable needs to be moved everything onto left side. So now, let me erase these marks. Okay, now, how do I move all the letters into left? Which means I don't need a 4a. What should I do? Minus 4a each side so that I can cancel my 4a from my right side, correct? Now what? Simplify. 9a minus 4a become 5a plus 2 equals negative 18. Now after that is exactly same as what we practiced already, which is a multi-step equation. Now we need to undo addition or subtraction first, which is a plus 2 part. What is the inverse operation of plus 2? Minus 2. So you're going to minus 2 each side. Then 5a becomes negative 20 this time. Now what? Divided by 5, then your a would be negative 4. How can we check it, guys? You should remember how to check. We have to plug negative 4 into letter A. 5 times negative 4 plus 2 should be exactly same as negative 18. If you don't have it, I'm sorry, that's not our original equation. What was our original equation? 9a plus 2 goes up here. 9a plus 2 equals 4a plus minus 18. I know that that's more work, but we always use the original equation. So 9 times negative 4 plus 2 should be same as 4 times negative 4 minus 18. So when you check, in this case, you always work left and right separately. So 9 times 4 is negative 36, which is negative 4. So negative 36 plus 2 equals negative 16 minus 18. So I saw some people, they try to solve these by adding 18 to move everything onto one side. Please don't do it. Our goal is just to check it that both of the equations, which is both sides of this equation, exactly the same. So just work separately. So negative 36 plus 2 become negative 34. Now negative 16 minus 18 would be also negative 34, which means they are exactly same number. I checked this, which is my answer. Negative 4 is correct answer. Alright? Okay, so now we go to quick check 1. So I need you guys solve this question by yourself. Once you're done, and please, check your answer with me. Alright, quick check 1. A. Solve and check each equation. So now what? 4x plus 4 equals 2x plus 36 is my question. So guys, think about it. Which side is gonna be our variable side? Which number is bigger, 4 or 2? 4 is bigger than 2, so I would check my variable is gonna be this side. This is my variable side. So now my goal is to cancel 2x out, so minus 2x each side, so that I can cancel my 2x from my right side. Then you would have a 2x plus 4 equals 36. Now what should we do? Minus 4 each side. Then I would have 2x equals 32. Now what? Divided by 2. Then my x would be 16. They ask you to check it. How can we check it? As I mentioned, we are going to use our original question. Just simply replace all the letters into your number, which you just got, 16. So 4 times 16 plus 4 should be equal to 2 times 16 plus 36. So 16 times 4 is 64, plus 4 should be same as 32 plus 36, correct? 64 plus 4 would be 68, and 32 plus 36 also 68, so my answer got checked, which is 16 would be perfect. Alright, let's move on to my question B. Now, negative 15 plus 6b equals negative 8b plus 13. Now, so I have to compare with 6 and negative 8. Which number is bigger, 6 or negative 8? Obviously, positive number is always bigger, which means I would prefer to choose my variable as my left side. Okay, so in this case, I have to get rid of negative 8. How do I get rid of negative 8b? What is the inverse operation of negative, which is a minus? Plus. So I would add 8b each side so that I can cancel that one out. So it's gone. Now what? I have negative 15 plus 14b equals 13. Now, your goal is to isolate the letter term, which is a 14b only, which is I don't need negative 15 on my left side. So, you are going to add 15 each side so that you can cancel this number out. So, 14b equals 28. Now, my final goal is to leave just b alone, not with 14. So you are going to apply division, which is they will give you b as 2. Alright, once again, how we check it? Use original equation. So now I had 15 plus 6 times 2 should be equal to negative 8 times 2 plus 13. Alright? So, negative 15 plus 6 times 2, 12, should be equal to negative 16 plus 13. Since 15 and 2, 12, they have a different sign, you are literally subtract and attach the bigger number sign, that would become negative 13. Samely, negative 16 and 13, they have different signs, so you should subtract. That would give you 3 with bigger number sign, which is negative 3. Okay, they're exactly the same. So my answer, negative 3, got checked. Alright? Okay, so we are going to move on to page 372 now. Let's go. Alright, so page 372, we are going to work on the word problem. Beth leaves home on her bicycle, riding at a steady rate of 8 miles per hour. Her brother Ted leaves home on his bicycle half an hour later, following Beth's route. He rides at a steady rate of 12 miles per hour. How long after Beth leaves home will Ted catch up? So, how do we approach to solve this type of question? First, you have to look at all the informations within your question. So, what are we looking for? What is our goal? We practiced in the last section, right? What is our goal? Yeah, we have to find out how long after Beth leaves will Ted catch up. So, we're going to set that one as our variable. So we literally thinking about the time. So my goal this time would be finding Beth's time, which is, in terms of time. So let me just put the, x as a time for now. And then one information we already know of. So what is the speed of Beth? 8 miles per hour. What is the speed of, her brother Ted? Which is 12 miles per hour. So think about it. We have a time, we have a speed. Time and speed. What you're thinking of, that is going to be distance formula. You guys remember distance formula? Distance is equivalent to product of time and speed. So we can use distance equals time times speed. And you know that distance Beth travel is exactly same as distance Ted travel. So we are going to use that. So now I can set up my x as a Beth. You can set up as a x as a Ted, but it's a little bit harder. So I recommend you to use Beth's time for x. Then now what? Since we know the information that Beth and Ted, they travel in the same distance. So, the product of times and speed needs to be exactly equal. So one side is for the Beth. And the other one is for Ted, right? So just apply the information now. So what's the speed of her riding? 8 miles per hour. And we know that she drove into x speed. That's that's x time, which is we already talked about. Now Ted traveled faster, which is 12. But thinking about the time. What did the question say? Question says that her brother Ted leaves home on his bicycle half an hour later. Half an hour later. That is gonna be the important information. So how do I understanding about that? Ted's time should be half hour shorter, right? So half hour shorter because Ted left home 30 minutes later, which is a half an hour later. Because why do I use half this time? Because we are talking about in terms of time, not minutes. That's why we don't put 30 here. We should put half. All right. So that's how we set up the equation. Now what? We're going to solve it. All right. So how do I solve this equation, guys? 8x, you can just stay on your left side. Now, I have a parentheses. You're going to apply which property? Distributive property to distribute 12 to x and half. That becomes 12x minus 12, half times 12. That becomes what? 6. So now I have 8x equals 12x minus 6. And now, which side has a bigger number side? Which is a 12. But, here's the thing. You guys have a 12x minus 6 together with 8x alone in the one side. It will be easier this time that you can just take the 12x away so that you can just leave as a number right side and then letter left side. If you are steadily keep the rule that you are going to choose the variable which is the bigger number, yeah, that would be easier, but it's gonna be needed one more step. So, at this situation that you need to choose, okay, which way we're going to do. As I mentioned, you can choose any side you want to. Basically, you can just choose any side. So this time, if you choose to leave your variables on right side, then you should do this way, which is one more step. I'm going to show you both. Now you're subtracting 8x, right? And you're gonna have a 0 equals 4x minus 6. Now you are going to add a 6 each side. Then your equation looks like 6 equals 4x. For now, let's compare. If you just choose your variable right side, which means left side, I'm sorry. So you have 8x equals, I just copy exactly samely that what we had. Now, if you just chose to get rid of the variable in here as subtracting 12x, and you are gonna have a negative 4x equal negative 6, right? And then you divide it by negative 4, a negative 1 each side. And 4x equals 6. Yeah, but it's really up to you because this time it's kind of, different than what I expected because we are having negatives. But, it's totally up to you that you can choose left side or right side. But it doesn't really big changed this time. But, once again, if you don't want to deal with the negative numbers, the first one would be better than second, right? Alright, so let's continue. So after that, what should I do? Let me just use my left side, okay? So divided it by 4, then I can find my final answer, which becomes 1.5, right? That's gonna be my answer. So 1.5, that means Ted will catch up with Beth 1 and 30 minutes after she leaves home, right? Alright, so how can we make sure that my answer 1.5 hour, which is a 1 hour 30 minutes, is gonna be correct? So test the result. So just think about the information. So 8 miles, Beth will ride 12 miles in 1.5 hour, right? Because that's what we get it as a x. So 8 times 1.5, which is gonna be 12, right? So 12 miles she rides within 1.5 hours. And Ted's time. Ted, this is for Beth. Ted, what did we know? He left home half an hour after, which is 12 times 1 hour. That should be same as the distance what she traveled. Yeah, 12 miles. Exactly. So this is for Ted. So we check it on it that, since Beth and Ted each traveled 12 miles, exactly same distance. So we checked that the answer looks great. Alright, I'm going to give you time to work on quick check 2 by yourself, and then we're going to check the answer together. Alright, so quick check 2 now. Car A travels eastbound, traveling at a steady rate of 50 miles per hour. Car B leaves eastbound 1 hour later following car A. It travels at a steady rate of 60 miles per hour. How long after car A leaves eastbound will car B catch up? So that's exactly the same question, they just changed as a name, right? Beth and Ted got changed into the car A and car B. So now we approach with the same distance again. So car A's distance Distance car A travel. Distance car A travel exactly same as distance car B travel. Okay, so let X is for car A's time. Then I can replace as X minus 1 this time, because what did they say? 1 hour later. So X minus 1 would be car B's time. And then now how do we set up the equation, guys? Distance, speed, times hour equals speed 60 times X minus 1. So 50x equals 60x minus 60 because we apply distributive property. Now I'm going to take 60x each side, since the structure of a question, it would be easier to calculate. So 50 minus 60, negative 10x equals negative 60. Now what? Divided by negative 10. Then your x would be 6, which means car A's time is for 6, right? So how long after car A lives after will car B catch up, which is 6 hours after. How can we check it, guys? So car A, how much car A travel? 50 times 6, which is 300 miles. And car B, 60 times 1 hour later, which is 6 minus 1, which is 5. It is also 300. We check it on it. They have exactly same number for car A and B. So I can make sure that my answer 6 hours looks great. Alright, I hope this video helps you to understand, and we're going to see in the next video. Bye.